The most important single factor in the South African army, the soldier. All our efforts are directed at equipping him physically and otherwise for the defense of our country.
Thank you all for being with us to send off my firstborn to do his military service.
Jeff, you'll be okay, son. Show them what you're made of.
Jy is nie meer iemand nie. Julle is rowe. En is ons werk om julle rowemans te probeer maak. Swart barbare is op ons voorstoep. Leigatgeit. Moffies. Kaffer simpatie. Sal nie geduld word nie.
Welcome and congratulations on your film Moffie, which I see has 100% fresh from Rotten Tomatoes, which is no mean feat. I hope you're pleased with that. And it's finally.
I wish I knew what that meant.
So it means none of us hated you.
Oh yes, good.
It means we didn't think you were rotten. It's finally getting to be released here in the US. But first, before we talk about the film, can you just explain to my people what Moffie stands for?
Sure. Moffie is an interesting term. It's an Afrikaans language term, and it operates on two different levels. It ultimately is a weapon of shame. It can be as effective on a heterosexual man as it can be on a gay man. It's a measure of masculinity, and so when you call somebody a Moffie, you're ultimately saying that they are less man than they should be.
It's not a particular queer thing then, it can be spread over.
I think it became more of a queer thing as time went by. And the setting of our film, its function is to kind of just dehumanize and humiliate sort of any of them. It's a word you do not want to be referred to. It's an identifier that means that you're insufficient in your masculinity.
So without giving it all away, can you just tell us briefly what Moffie's about?
Moffie is about a young conscript, Nicholas, who has to fulfill his 2 years of military service starting in 1981, and in this period of his life, he comes to realize quite a few things about himself and journeys through the worst, I think, experience of what could happen to you in that 2-year experience, because South Africa was actively fighting a war against Angola. So he kind of gets the brunt of it, but perhaps, comes out of it having lost something quite profoundly.
It's very personal, very authentic. Is it autobiographical?
No, it's based on a book, which was where we started the process, but we took quite a long journey away from the book. So I did find autobiographical interests and moments in it. I was only born in '83, and I'm not white, I'm mixed race.
Okay,
so
don't rub it in.
Hey?
Don't rub it in. But was the book autobiographical? You took it from?
The book was autobiographical, yes. The book was the story of a man, Karel van der Merwe, Andre Karel van der Merwe, who wanted to write something, I think, to kind of reclaim the word and to tell the story of that indoctrination. This, I would say, the undercurrent of his book was to raise the middle finger to that time in his life.
Oliver, what attracted you to the story?
I think honestly what attracted me to the story was how far away from me it was initially. It just felt like the film I shouldn't make.
Yeah. And you were very lucky or successful in your casting. You had a great young lead, Kai Luke Brummer. Can you tell us the process of how you located and cast him?
Quite a process. We cast the film for for more than a year, almost 2. And so Kai was part of that wash. We saw him many times. And eventually I was certain of Kai as the lead when we actually went to see him in a play, and felt that he was the appropriate Nicholas.
Yeah, in many of the African countries, except for South Africa, it's still illegal to be gay with extreme punishment. What is it like to be a gay in South Africa nowadays?
Legally, it's very free. You know, we have one of the most progressive constitutions in the world that we've had since 1995. And we were one of the first countries in the world to make gay marriage legal, gay adoption legal. We overcorrected from our apartheid legacy immediately. And so we were, we are, in terms of Africa, South Africa is one of the countries that has the greatest constitutional, opportunities and rights for its population. To be gay in South Africa today depends on many different things. If you're a Black lesbian woman, in South Africa today, you are still, very in danger of experiencing gender-based violence and homophobia. So it depends on who you ask.
Google tells me, I don't know why, there have been 10 queer movies made in South Africa. 2 of them are yours. Is it still tough being a gay filmmaker back there?
I think it's tough to be a queer filmmaker anyway. I think what we are seeing is a change in the appetite and the interest in and feeding a gay or queer audience. So it's tough, but I think it's growing. I think it's getting better.
Your second movie, Beauty, which I saw, was stunning, but very violent.
Yes, in a different way to Moffie.
Oh yeah, much more. Can we talk a little bit about Beauty, because that's still available now?
Sure. Yeah, Beauty was a film that I wrote and sort of manifested in my mid-20s, and I wanted to make a film about something a perspective that I didn't quite understand, which was the nature of beauty and the nature of repression in white Afrikaans South Africa. And so it's sort of my postmodern interpretation of Death in Venice.
Well, he's not around to dispute that. Any of them. Tell me again, Min, when and where is this film being released?
Moffie is being released in America. Moffie is being released April the 9th, which is next Friday, and it is available for VOD download and in cinemas. So I imagine people can just check their local listings.
It's been a long journey for you on this one. Do we know, because I think you made it in 19 or 18?
I made it in 19.
All right, so it's been a long journey. Are you prepared to share with us what's next for you?
Sure. At the moment, I'm in London and I'm about to make a remake of a Kurosawa film called Queerguru, set in the United Kingdom, which will star Bill Nye, and we go into production in a couple of weeks. We
have to say congratulations for that, because we love Bill Nye.
Oh, wonderful. Bill is wonderful. And I love Bill too. Wonderful
actor. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. Thank you again for your wonderful film, which I totally enjoyed. And
thank you so much.
Hopefully we'll see you when you finish with Mr. Nye.
Thank you so much. Great to meet you.
Man, won't you hurry? 'Cause I'm tired of these scenes.
Sugar man met a false friend on a lonely, dusty road.
Do whatever you can to stay invisible.
I'm not like you.